Welcome, viewers, again, new and returning to Saviours DND again, our weekly Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition stream, where we continue to follow the party, the Redwall Saviours, and their journeys in the Forgotten Realms. If you haven't done already, please follow us here at twitch.tv/SavioursDnD, and you'll also find links to our Twitter and our YouTube, where we post VODs down below the stream. We'd be grateful for follows and all that sort of jazz there as well. We read out any new followers, subscribers, or donations at the end of the stream. And as ever, we're very grateful for any help. Even just being here and watching us is superb. We also have a sponsor, Libris Arcana, and using the code SAVIOURS, you'll get a 25% discount from the first month of their monthly dice subscription. There's some lovely dice that we use here as well. So if that's your kind of thing, might as well get a discount. All good.
That's really cool.
Our Emeros is having just a wee bit of technical problems today, so he'll just be here by voice, if not in his usual beautiful self.
But we did get his super sexy headshot.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that shouldn't cause too many problems or anything. It shouldn't be a problem at all. Other than that, so with further ado, Jabberwocky, I'm going to pick on you first to do your introduction.
Hello, I'm Jabberwocky. I play
and I have a problem.
Gale. My Roll20 is currently opening, so I do not have the details of what I am or who I am.
Jabber.exe is loading.
Yep.
Good morning. Hi, I didn't see you there.
It's Twitch, not Tinder.
Yeah.
No, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I want to see. Hey, I want to see this.
Yeah.
I like staying in my room for multiple hours on end and
making love to you,
staring at a computer screen while not making any conversation with anybody in person. If that's your kind of guy,
a catch.
Hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can find me at Saviours DND.
Yeah, at Saviours DND and on Flat Earth Society.
I don't say this very often, but please bring us back to the norm, Terrorblades.
Oh,
bring us back on track, and
the bar is low. I play Mara Clearwater, a human cleric of Joaquin, a lean, mean, money-making machine, and she has with her Garvin, who is just a mean killing machine. No, he's very kind, and he's a dwarven fighter.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't enjoy anything.
No.
You won't find me on Tinder.
I hope not.
That's me.
Very upset. Emeros, do you want to introduce yourself and your character?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm Emeros, and I play Cyric, a yuan-ti druid, multi-class 2 warlock.
Sorry.
Yep.
Indeed. And last by no means least, Donbro.
I just realized when I was looking at the stream that all of the health pools, sort of the health underneath, that's all wrong. That's all. Yeah.
Mine's
accurate.
Something.
Is it? Yeah, because you didn't level up. Yep. Anyway,
everyone else leveled up.
I am Donbro, and I play Alton. Alton is a gnomish bard from the Feywild. He is mute. He speaks and casts his spells and his songs and his poetry through his best friend and voice, Will, who is a white raven. He's going through some changes, as all young men do. They're confusing and
finding hair where there didn't used to be hair.
Absolutely,
yes.
Finding hair and yeah. So
growing horns.
Watch this space because I don't know what's happening. So there you go. Yeah, that's all.
Well, last week was quite interesting. We finished off the encounter with the horrible tentacled creature in the deeps of the ocean. everyone thought that their lives were forfeit, but with some, I'll say, good skill and some random luck, not to mention the distracting appearance randomly of a coven of hags.
Yeah.
The creature was bested, loot was gotten, including the reason for them being there, the box that they had been tasked to go and get by Alantir, the Azure wizard, in part exchange for helping to help them find Salir, their disappeared companion. Sirik particularly got a nice loot, a bag of tricks, and has been throwing these out on the trip home to find, luckily, that both times he used it, he got a plesiosaur companion for 24 hours and was happily sailing around the boat on the back of it and getting to know. Sirik and Scale also had a slightly awkward and odd conversation in
It's only awkward if you make it that way.
It was amazing.
It was superb. It was definitely awkward. Maybe not for you two, but probably for the rest of us in a good way.
Oh no, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was superb. And we find the party after 2 or 3 days at sea returning to the harbour of Neverwinter. Everyone is fully rested and recuperated from the travails at the bottom of the ocean, obviously keen to move forward and see the wizard and what has been gained on the location of Salir. With a mind, I suppose, especially without trying to speak for everybody's, probably Mara, that there is still the mystery of what has happened to the Overgold, and a potential meeting with another mysterious group of drow as well on the way north to Luskan, should they wish to continue with that. And everyone is, as I say, rested and recuperated. And I think we ended last week where they were just coming into the harbour at the end of the day, the sun was setting, and we find our group on the harbour. Redwall Saviours, what do you wish to do?
Eat something different.
I presume we're rested and stuff.
Yes, yeah, you've had 2 or 3 days on the sea, so everyone's at full hit points, all their normal spell slots and other sorts of abilities are all recharged.
Yeah, and we didn't do any work on the boat. I mean, only Scale did work on the boat, so...
Well, I mean, you can if you wanted to. You absolutely can have helped. That's not a problem. But with Waif and Stray and Scale, it's not needed.
Yeah, I think Alton got in the way lots.
I think Mara got in the way as she was lounging around the ship.
So I think what Alton will be doing is he will be looking. Who has the box? Ernie, probably Mara.
Sir,
yeah, whoever you can choose that between yourselves. It doesn't matter to me. So whoever wants to say they would have.
Oh, I think I still have it.
Okay.
We need to get this to Alantar straight away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Time is important.
We go to the tower.
Yeah.
That's fine. You go through the harbour. And then are walking back along the foreshore towards the tower, which again seems to be the broken ruin when you first approached it once again, with its whatever defensive magic. As soon as you're out of its presence, goes back to being the ruin. And you again are quickly going up the steps, but this time you don't have to find the slot. It's almost like it is learned that you have been there before. So that you remember that the first time you had this endless going up and down the staircase and you couldn't find it. Whereas this time it's quite easy for you to find. You put the same invite back in and the doors open. And as they open, you're expecting the same sort of conservatory, the greenery amongst the treetops. But a very different scene awaits you as you open it this time. And the doors open into a very plush, sort of large greeting room. Something that wouldn't be out of place in a stately home or a small castle.
They have electricity?
Well, yeah, I know. I rushed the picture, but
No, it's whale oil. It's whale oil.
Yeah.
She's in other
silly
universes.
oil lamp, or are we magical?
I'm such a dick. I'm sorry.
I mean, also, she's in the multiverse theory, so yeah, she's got electricity.
Oh yeah.
She's got a DVD.
There's a huge fireplace. There's a roaring fire. You can tell that it's colder here. There is a slight chill in the air once you go out of the radius of the fireplace, but if you stay close to it, it's nice and warm. There's lovely leather, luxurious seating and a coffee table, and there seems to be a snowstorm happening outside the windows that you see at the back of the room. There is no trees obvious from the view that you had, I think. And there is very little greenery other than a few small plants in plant pots. And Alantar is sitting in front of the fire on the side of the couch and looks up and, I'm Alantar. How are you doing?
Can I
What
roll
can I do for you?
Can I roll an insight to see if this is the same one? It doesn't seem like it.
Yes, but I would say perception rather than insight for what you're looking at. Absolutely, you can.
Even better.
And anyone else can if they feel that their character would notice this.
I'm just going to say, once again, scale is at where the door was.
We saw the last time that she had helpers, though, right?
Other.
Yeah, other.
You saw other versions of herself coming and going the last time. Yes.
Clone and Tars, yeah. I got 27.
This is something that Mara has never experienced before. So it's even with a great roll like that, it's very difficult to be sure. But with those perceptions, you can see there are definite small physical differences with this lady in front of you. She seems to carry herself a little bit more. She's a little bit heavier, not quite as lithe as the version. Like almost imperceptibly, though. I don't mean like, the sort of little and large. I mean, just like a wee bit. And she does seem to have a scar that just runs down the front of her ear. Very difficult because there's little curls of her hair going in front of it, but it's quite deep, and although she seems to have teased her hair to try and think, it's quite a deep, ragged scar, old, well healed, but it does not look like it was very pleasant when it happened to her.
Yeah.
So on balance, it's quite likely it's not the same person, because if this wound had happened between times, it probably wouldn't have, even with magical means, it wouldn't have healed so quickly.
Yeah.
I think Alton's still trying to get used to his sea legs. He's sort of staggering and swaying a bit. And I think eventually he'll probably just sit down at one of these couches and just sort of try and steady himself. You wish to speak to the one who ordered us to go and get the thing.
Oh, so you've spoken to Alantar, but unfortunately you've come and you have found myself, Alantar.
Indeed.
It does happen from time to time. Unfortunately, it is my turn to be here. I don't know how much was explained to you on your last visitation.
Not a lot. Will she return, or can we find her in any speedy capacity?
Can I see any cool shit around here?
There's a snowstorm.
Can you see what?
Any cool shit?
Depends what Alton considers cool shit, but
It would be
Follower pooping.
magical knick-knacky sort of thing.
roll me an Arcana check. Let's
Very well.
see.
Natural 20.
Hey!
Okay.
Plus Arcana is 31.
31. No, there's nothing at all.
This is all natural.
You see two things, and they do seem to be just complete knickknacks. Almost a sort of small, sort of living sculpture, fireside like thing. The first one is a small metallic circle, about the size of a saucer or a small side plate. And it is flat as you like. And it's, although metallic and silvery, its surface seems to be just ever so slightly gives the impression of liquid. So for us as players, like Quicksilver, like mercury, but
delicious.
it's like, and there is also a silver egg on the top of it, and it just seems to be, it's almost like it's skating around, and it just seems to be lazily drifting around the plate. And the other thing is a very curious thing for what you say. It is a wooden block, and it has two metallic sides to it with like small beads in the middle, and it just seems to be ticking. It's like what we would know as a Newton's cradle. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do.
Yeah.
But there's no wires connecting it. The beads are just floating in midair, ticking backwards and forwards.
I think Alton will walk over to the egg saucer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's happening here? He wants to sort of figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and I think he, you won't have to roll again because you've got such a high roll on your Arcana. You spend the time observing it, and it does just seem to be a knick-knack. You reach down, you pick it up, but it just stops. You carefully place it back down, and it starts lazily tracing a sort of random pattern around it. And it does just seem to be a knick-knack, something to have and make the place look pretty. Although I don't know how Alton would perceive the thought of that.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have any obvious reason.
Okay. I think you'll wait till Alantar starts speaking again and conversing with Mara or whoever, and he'll try and take it.
Well, the last thing Alantar had said to the rest of you whilst Alton was doing that was, I don't know how much you know of this place.
But Mara asked if there was any ability to meet her in any...
Ah, well, the wheel turns and each of us get our allotted time, and it'll be a while until Alantar is back here, and you'll have to deal with Alantar until she is.
So then, can you complete this deal for her? Or do we have to just wait then?
Oh no, I can complete anything. I just have to go and consult. If you bear with me. Can I get you any refreshments, any food or drink whilst I go?
Alton would have pocketed it by now.
Okay. Roll a stealth check if he's trying to do it stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
Explosively. What's that sound?
Sorry.
Scroll wheel on a mouse.
24.
Okay. Don't seem to have any reaction to you pocketing it. Does anyone say they want any refreshments at all?
I'll have some jam.
Jam, certainly. Any particular flavour?
Ooh,
Dolphin.
pineapple jam?
Pineapple, certainly. Can do that.
Can you?
The rest of you? Yes.
Okay.
I was hoping for dolphin jam. No, I'm good. I don't need anything.
Drink, tea, lapsam souchong,
Rum.
Just some water for me, please.
water, certainly.
Rum.
Rum. Oh, absolutely. I've got some very good rum. She sort of waves her hands and she walks off. And, you know, I think Alton what Alton would see, but the rest of you would as well. She just walks directly into the fire and disappears. Small cloud of no, it's more sort of Harry Potter style, you know. Small cloud of sparks behind her, and
I think Alton will take out a small busted, half busted, sort of wooden carved pan flute almost.
Mm-hmm.
It looks busted, but it works. He just starts playing a little tune.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, you get a sort of cups and saucers and things start floating in. If any of you have the unseen servant spell, you'll know that that's what it is. Otherwise, it's just floating plates and saucers and things. And a very dark and a beautifully aromaed spiced rum comes for scale and set down, very generous measure in a beautiful crystal tumbler. Very lovely, sweet, cold water for Cyric. Seems to be meltwater from a pure ice glacier. When you taste it, it is the most beautiful, delicious water that you've ever tasted. And Alton, a big pot of pineapple jam. Now, they don't know your preferences. There's some incredibly well toasted sourdough bread that is on a plate next to it, and a big thing of real butter. And a silver spoon. And yes. Did Mara ask for anything at all? No.
Did
And
Garvin
they're
want
Appealing
anything?
to my actual meal.
I think Garvin will have asked for a big ale, and there's a big stein of ale, and he seems very content
Stein.
looking away. His beard's like there's foam all in his beard and stuff. But
Big
he
stein.
to be quite happily
I think Alton
quaffing.
yeah, Alton is taking the sourdough bread, smells it a bit, puts a little bit of butter on the bread. He's seen the guys do this all the time, so he does that with his hands.
Of course.
And then
The other thing Alton doing that you'll find is that it's just the perfect warmth, and it doesn't seem to be cooling at all. I think Alton would notice that.
The butter?
No, the bread. Like when you toasted it, it's still lovely hot toast, even though
I think he recognizes magic when he sees it.
Yeah.
He'll dispel the magic.
goes cold.
Well, does it go immediately cold?
Yeah, it just goes cold.
Okay. Do I
Turns
think
to
this bread is
ash.
old?
No, you don't think it's old. You just think it's been toasted, cooled down, and there was some sort of spell keeping it nice and hot.
So he's
But it's just- as soon as you've dispelled it, it's just receded back to the temperature it would have been.
he sort of takes the buttered piece of bread and just flings it, and he picks up the.
Splats against the wall,
Yeah.
sort of slowly. drinks it out.
He doesn't pay any attention to that. He's just like, oh, it's cold. And he picks up the other one that he didn't dispel and starts filling that with jam, and he's just stuffing
It dispels that one, and then
No,
goes like,
no, he's not. He now realizes that it's not like some. I don't know. He was a little bit maybe curious as to what he was actually eating when he had the spell, when he felt the magic essentially.
Okay. It's the best. I think the first instance you get this lovely burst of sweetness and then a little bit of sourness. One thing that I don't think Alton has ever experienced before is and so obviously he'll react to it the way you want him to, but it's actually got ever so slight bits of chili through it. So there's a wee bit of bite of spice. So it's burst of fruit, lovely sweetness, goes to tangy, a little bit sour, and then finishes with a wee sharpness right at the end. Not like mental hot, but
I think what happens is he's chewing it the way he normally does, which is essentially, if you ever see any anime character ever eat, essentially bulging cheeks, and when that sort of pop hits, he sort of he keeps eating, but like it's really sort of labored, but like he's thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah.
And the same with Scale. You know, if Scale's a rum drinker, this is just the best rum that she has ever had. It's mellow and just the spices are just perfectly blended with the hit of the alcohol in it as well. Do you talk at all between yourselves whilst she's out of the room?
I keep looking for a door.
Okay. It seems to be a door that you've come through, so there's a door.
It didn't disappear?
I think.
It's close behind you, but it's there.
If someone were to talk to Alton, he would respond. But like ultimately, what you'll see is Alton's actually very, very comfortable this time around in this place. He is not particularly nervous or anxious. He's just
and when
relaxed.
Alton did that Arcana check earlier on as well, the other thing that he obviously does, the whole place is magical, but there's nothing else in here that is individually magical. It's just the general magic of whatever is creating this space.
Yep.
But all the books and the chairs and everything are all mundane, other than the fact of the presence of where they exist. And if no one else wants to spark, all right, spark up.
If there's like any napkins or something for like the bread or stuff, I think Scale will grab a napkin and then start like cleaning the scrimshaw skull that she's had.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just get all the salt water out of the divots, and
I think as you start doing that, something else just sort of
talks to
floats
you
in and appears on the table.
Is this a skull I see before me?
As another unseen servant just comes in, and you get a little brush, or what we would look like a toothbrush, and a wee pot with and when you smell it, it's just like extremely strong white spirit.
nice. Yeah, gonna get cleaning.
Yeah, a wee detailing brush. You get it all. Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder, the Alantars everywhere. I wonder if they sit here on different rotations. They have to be sitting in lots of different places, right?
So they're very inactive.
They might be everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Sure. But for every
It's
place
really
they
lazy.
find one, there would be a place to come in. So there would be a lot of people sitting around in different seats.
They've got really good beer.
Yeah, I bet.
And you see, Garvin makes a big slug, and as he sort of puts it down, it just fills up again.
I bet when he sees that, he's just like, good.
Shall we try and see if we can buy that, Garvin?
he just doesn't even respond.
I think
We'll see what they'll
Alton will
take.
have laid down various small sea snails and barnacles that he would have collected off the seafloor, and Quill will be eating those. So, and I think at this stage, Alton will probably have a full belly. He'll have opened the top button of his pants, and he'll just be relaxing like this,
Yeah.
and a burp.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And a small time goes past, maybe only 5 minutes or so. You all relax comfortably. Smell of wood smoke in the air, and there's another small scattering of sparks, and the Alantir that you had previously talked to wanders out unscathed. and she seems to be like sort of flipping through a sort of small ledger. Yes. I see the deal that was struck.
Alton doesn't even look up when she comes in.
Alantar was seeking the return of something that had been sunk in a shipwreck, and in return she was going to help find your companion who, seems to have come a cropper using deck of many things. Very, very dangerous things. We've got several of them locked away in confinement. They really shouldn't be out there in the world. So, do you have the item?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Alton will look
it's
across to
right
Sirik.
here.
May I see it? You can put it on the table. You can see it's in plain sight. Not do anything so far.
All right then. So Sirik picks up the box and puts it on.
She sort of just stands over it and sort of makes a few arcane gestures and sort of closes her eyes and doesn't open it. Maybe the blue gem on the top pulses a wee bit quicker for a time. Yes, all is in order.
Where is the other one?
Well, she is in the place that you met her.
Where is this place?
How to describe this to one who does not know? It is here, and yet it is not.
And now, that's what I told Mara a minute ago. It's okay.
This, and as she starts talking, those of you that wish your characters to remember that what they told you was that this place was a nexus, where all of the other dimensions, it was a fixed point where they could come and go. There were thousands of them that were part of this azure enclave that were all the same woman. And no more than 12 of them at any one time could be in the vicinity of the tower. And she explains this again, just very similar words. And it's very dangerous if we have more than needs be. So although we can have up to 12, we tend to only have 3 or 4 at any one time. So we all have to take our turn, because it is the entrance place on whatever dimension we are, as well as all of the other connected dimensions, which is why you are here. But yet you are still there. And Alantar is still here and there. But I am Alantar that you're dealing with just now. So it will be many weeks before Alantar you met before will be here again. But it shouldn't. We have a system, and it is fine.
We got your curio, we received it, and now we need the information on how we can track our friend down.
Yeah.
Yes. Alantar has started the process. I'm fairly sure she would have told you it is not something that we can do overnight. It will probably take weeks for us to track down. However... Sorry?
No, that's what she said.
Yes. But she has made some progress in the first instance, and I'm afraid it's not great news. Not bad news, not great news.
We just need news.
Well, the news is that it seems your companion has been transported to some sort of demi-plane that is part of the negative energy plane, which is a very dangerous place. It is a place of undeath and all sorts of creatures like that. Did he have any connection to zombies or skeletons or ghosts or anything?
I mean, he was half. And he stops himself and looks at Mara.
And her eyes just sort of narrow a little bit at that. Half what?
Well, he looked to
It-
Mara for guidance, essentially.
Mara will do this, and she'll go ahead, Alton.
Well, you see, our friend Celia was what people call on this plane a Dampier, which means essentially he was like a half vampire sort of a creature. Very good though, very nice. I didn't see him drink from anybody, not in a traditional way.
Well, I have never encountered a Damphir before, but I'm very well aware of what they are. It certainly explains his destination.
Oh,
Well, it has sparked something in the taint of undeath that he has, and it has drawn him there to the plane of death, or plane of undeath, the negative energy plane. Now, this is a very dangerous place. It is not easy to get to. And it is quite vast as well, so we still have to take time to further track down exactly his location within it and how to get there. Because I could say, go there now, but you could spend the rest of your lives wandering endlessly without finding him.
No, we need to. If this place is as dangerous as you say it is, then we probably need to know exactly where we're going.
And that is where the real time will take for us to be able to track his location accurately. We don't know whether he is there in stasis, a prisoner, or whether he is wandering the plains naked as the day he was born, as I believe all of his belongings were left behind. In which case there is a high chance that he may have instantly come to an end.
Alantar,
Yes.
I presume you have a working knowledge of planar travel.
Yes.
How accurate could you be?
Very accurate. It's at this moment in time, and she sort of flourishes, and you see the thing once again that first you saw when you were in the mayor's office back in Derbalachan, and the table changes, and you see the illusionary map, sort of 3D sort of terrain, but instead of the town of Derbalachan, what you're seeing is a representation of the whole of the Sword Coast where you are, from Baldur's Gate to the south all the way up to the 10 towns in the cold north. I know everywhere here on the Sword Coast and in the rest of Faerun. I could send anybody anywhere if I knew teleportation, but if I don't know where somebody is, it's just like picking a spot randomly. It's very unlikely to get you in the right spot.
Alton will walk to her side as they're overlooking the map together, sort of. And he will say, well, I wonder if you might have something for me that might help us. And I'm going to go with something here, and I don't know what, if you want to respond, you can.
No, you go. No.
I know a lot of the big cities and places, in their places of worship, and sometimes in their town centers, from what I've read, hold magical circles for the purpose of travel, teleportation.
She nods.
Do you have any of those glyph structures that I might be able to take from you for future reference?
I do not, because of the nature of where I am. You cannot actually teleport from inside here to there because we're technically on different dimensions. So
But you...
I am...
Okay. No, that's
I
okay.
am aware, but that is why we cannot use them. It is quite dangerous to try and teleport from one dimension to another.
And I'm sorry, it's fine. I just thought the nature of your being, you might be savvy to some of the circles in the locality, but it's fine.
Oh, I could point you to where there are in your town of Neverwinter.
That would help. Actually, Mara probably knows. I know he looks back to Mara.
Would I know? I don't know if I would know. Maybe. I don't think she would ever bought it.
Well, if you think it's something, I think actually it would be something. We'll make a history check. Let's see.
Where is the... There it is. Dirty 20.
Okay. You would know that if there is anywhere in the town of Neverwinter that has a teleportation circle, it would be Castle Never.
Ah, yes.
Where the Lord Protector resides.
Of course. It's his escape pod.
Basically, yes.
Let's see.
I think with a Dirty 20 as well, you know that these things are always feverishly well guarded, so that because obviously they're, whilst incredibly functional and helpful for the people using them there, they're also incredibly dangerous if the wrong people manage to use them and bring troops or enemies behind the defensive line of a city.
Oh, of course. Miss Alantar, do you know if you're still looking for our friend? Will you tell us when you find him?
We can get word to you, yes. It
Okay.
might be a week, might be 6 weeks, might be a year.
Might be 30 years.
Yes.
I cannot.
He's in a coma.
We will definitely find him, but I cannot promise you the length of time. Only
No.
that we will put a substantial amount of our time into locating him.
Thank you.
It brings me to one other thing, which I think was an item of a little bit of disagreement between you and Alantar.
Yes, we want our buck.
Well, she has advised that she will give you it back, but for the meantime, she really requires it as a focus to try and find your friend, as it is the magic that is linked to that is responsible for his disappearance.
Mara's gonna look to Alton. Yeah, we will agree with this.
Alton will nod, and he will do an insight check on that. Now, I know it's difficult because the other person could be lying to this one. I don't know. That's tricky, but
Mara doesn't know
I
magic.
do that.
Why would you lie to yourself?
Well, they're not the same entity, I don't think. 15.
She seems genuine.
Alton
She cackles maniacally.
Alton will nod to...
You don't notice that, funnily enough. Strangely. No, she seems genuine. There is no sign that she's hiding anything, or even that she is lying by omission or anything like that. She seems genuine. But as you say,
yeah.
I think Alton would know as well. She might not have lied. She may have been lied to, and if she doesn't have any connection, she wouldn't have any reason to not trust what was being told to her.
Yeah, I think Mara thinks it's sketchy, but she wouldn't know enough about magic to know if it has any connection at all. So I don't think she would be able to roll an insight, from my perception, my opinion.
I think Scale thinks that if Alantar is aligned to Alantar, that dissension among the ranks. That's a way bigger problem than a missing deck of many things.
The Alantar Civil War. Which side are you on? Alantar's side, bitch.
They can't even meet to spread propaganda or anything.
Yeah. Are you Alantar? Yeah, I'm Alantar.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Been Alantar since the day I was born, yo.
So man is saying words.
Now, what I could do is I could swap the... I think Alantar gave you an item, an idol,
A manta ray.
which specifically for the task, to help you with the task that she asked you to perform. It may not be the most helpful thing if you are going back on land.
Yeah, we could always see for. We could always get another trade for this. Sure.
Wasn't very helpful in the water either.
Alton squints his
What
eye.
We didn't use
what I could
Exactly.
do
it.
with your strange little gnomish friend, I could
What the Alantar are you talking about?
I could provide you with some scrolls of teleportation, and I'll give you a couple of scrolls of teleportation and a couple of the teleportation circle spell.
You could teach Alton the circle of teleportation spell.
I could
No.
teach him, but I could give him his scroll, which would allow it to be cast.
Alton will look to Mara and just give her a...
I assume he would like to learn the magic.
Alton will look to Mara again and give her another wink.
Mara will wink back. He would like to learn the spell.
I think, actually, Mara, I think I can already do it.
The teleportation
Mhm.
circle. Oh, so then I
So
guess you would
don't
like the
need
scroll then.
You don't need the scrolls, are they? Oh, okay. So, I'm sorry. I just thought the way that you were talking that
I
it
was
was
trying...
something that you needed help with.
Well, it was, because in order for it to work, I need to know the runic symbolism of the circle that I want to travel to, and
The chevron.
not being from here, no matter what your sister says, it's difficult for me to know exactly where I'm going. Could end up anywhere.
I think you're slightly misunderstanding. What I was going to give you was 2 scrolls that you could inscribe your own teleportation circle that could be returned to.
Oh, yeah, we'll have those.
Mara kind of shakes her head. Okay, so you know the spell, but you need the scrolls to go.
Well,
Let me understand, for those of you that are not arcane magic users, if he knows the spell and wishes to create a permanent teleportation circle, he would have to spend a year on the same spot,
Oh,
casting the same spell every year for a day.
It's super annoying.
What I have done is given a spell scroll which will bend time, and when he casts it, it will cast it 365 times and in the past, so that it is almost permanent. It does still take about an hour to cast from the scroll, so it is not quick. But it is an awful lot quicker than spending a year.
okay. So then that is what we'll take, I guess.
When she mentions the actual power of the scroll and what it will enable him to do, essentially, which is nuts, I think he will almost get a look of consternation about it, about high level magic. But you know, can't say no to it.
Would she see that on his face?
Oh sure. I mean, as good as he is at lying, I mean, day to day, he's not trying to lie to her. So
I think she looks at you and goes, I think you are a spellcaster of no small power, but do not feel bad. You cannot underestimate the power of 1,000 wizards acting as one.
or 2.
1,000.
Faction
That is-
wars.
That is the current number of us in the Azure Enclave.
Are you? Tell me. And Alton gets very interested. Are you of the one mind?
No, and there are disagreements, but there is a connection. But it is a connection that we have made rather than one that exists naturally.
Interesting. I never had any brothers or sisters.
Well,
She sort of smirks at that and goes, "It's not quite the same as having a brother or sister, other than a version of yourself that you have no memories of. We all have different experiences growing up. We all have had different experiences that have brought us to the same place, which is to be a powerful wizard."
So my next one-shot idea is all 4 of you are just playing different Alantars.
I am
Go on,
Alantar.
Venture. Just a team of Alantars.
They all
I
have
am
extreme
Alantar the
emotions.
Grey. Wow. So now, Alton, she will give you 2 years.
Thank you.
Hands him over.
We also had a.
And she puts her hand out for the figurine.
I don't. No, Shimara gives it over.
It's too late. You gave us the scrolls. Run!
Alton awkwardly stands there with the scrolls.
Maybe.
Believe it or not, this is a very fabulous item, but those are probably more expensive and unique.
These will
You
be very
able to
important.
burn a teleportation circle in an hour. Something that would normally take the most powerful spellcaster a year.
Alton sort of, again,
Be very sure about where you place them.
I know.
Putting at the tavern.
I was
Nope.
thinking we could just buy a house in town.
Well,
I have
Well.
also placed you 2 teleport spells as well. And hands over another 2 scrolls. That's just the 7th level spell, teleport.
I don't know if using high-level magical scrolls is the same as using divine ones, but if it is, Alton, you're going to have a great time.
Really?
There's always
the weird
there's
way to
always
phrase
the
it.
possibility of a misfire, of course, if it's beyond your normal capabilities.
There's always a possibility of a misfire.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you'll have to suffer for that problem.
For 18 years.
For 18... Well... Not really. I mean, oh no, I'm not going to say what I just... I'm not going to say what I was thinking.
Everyone
Moving
stop
on.
talking.
Yeah,
Well,
don't say it.
I
The,
should. I think I am powerful enough to teleport these other scrolls. I might definitely will have to think about that. I don't think. Mara, did you say that there is a magical circle in Neverwinter?
Yes, but that one belongs to someone else. I don't know if we can just learn his one.
Who do we know that can turn people into tiny insects?
I don't... Sirik can turn people into animals, I think.
Do we know anybody that can turn
I
people
can't.
into insects?
Me. Prince Alton can.
If only we knew somebody who
yeah.
could turn people into tiny insects. Alantar, can you turn
know.
people into tiny insects?
I think I know someone who can vomit insects, but I don't know how that's...
Mara, where is it?
Where's what?
The circle?
The one in Neverwinter.
Mm-hmm.
In Castle Never.
Did we see that?
We have
yes,
not been.
you've never been or visited, but the castle is a very obvious landmark within the city. It's a large castle that sits on an island on its own in the mouth of the river, on the edge of the river, and it's quite a sort of on a mount. It's like an old volcanic plug, a bit like sort of Edinburgh Castle, with the castle sitting on the top. Very imposing feature.
Now, we can probably get an audience, but I don't think we'd have enough pull to get his teleportation circle.
No, well, if we can get an audience, then we
can't.
get an audience, and then I don't know.
But I could maybe get an audience because I'm the acting overgold, but that might not even get us in the door, as far as I know.
From how I
Roll
understand,
20, I've just pulled you over to the Castle Never page, so that's what it looks like. And
From
you would
how
have all witnessed that.
from how I understand how teleportation circles work, which is very little, you teleport to the circle, right?
From
From
I don't
anywhere.
Yes.
So, even if we got the information, we teleport all four of you into the middle of the castle illegally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What? Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why it's better for us to buy a house. We'll pay off.
Buy a house. What
Pay
do you
off.
mean?
Why?
We
Why
buy
are
a
you buying
house,
I mean,
and we'll
I-
put the circle in the house.
Don't you have a temple?
Well, I used to have a temple, you see, but
Oh.
then an accident happened, and accidents happen all the time.
Then fix the
And-
temple.
Well, they're on their
I
way.
think
We're
Garvin
gathering.
pipes up at this point. He's a bit drunk now. Constitution.
We've
You
all been
see him-
talking.
you see him sort of thinking like, oh, I can deal with this fancy magic talk. I know all about this stuff. And he's sort of sitting back, a bit sort of getting comfortable. What about that Echo Overlook that we had the offer off at Derg Balakin? You could put one there as a safe hold to return to.
That's an idea.
That's an interesting idea.
I think the only thing is that's another detour.
It took us 5 days to get here from Dirk Balakin.
What if we just
Sure.
put one in the boat?
I'm just thinking.
Well, perhaps
the-
we shouldn't do.
I don't think it works that way.
And
think it has
if
to
we
be
put it
soil.
on, and if we put it on your boat and your boat sinks, or you decide that you are going on some other mission,
And then you can teleport to my boat.
Well,
Whenever you want.
these are all details.
Whatever. Yeah.
I think it's good to have options.
I don't think it'll ever come up.
The thing is, as much as it would be nice to have an immediate way to get to Neverwinter or to Dirk Balakin or any of those places, we don't really know that that'll help us to get to Cyric any faster. Just to get back
I'm
here.
here.
Sillier any faster. Sorry.
yeah,
It's okay.
You just look so alike.
I was just
Um,
thinking.
Here's the thing, a bit out. Sorry for breaking the flow a little bit. It's a question for Gombro. Did you just gain access, or did Alton just gain access to the spell when he last leveled up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you actually read the full text of the spell?
I think I did. What did I miss? Because I haven't read it in a
What
while.
I think you have missed is there's a I'll just read the paragraph.
Mhm.
Many major temples, guilds, and other important places have permanent teleportation circles inscribed within their confines. Each such circle includes a unique sequence, blah, 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 blah.
A
When
eunuch.
you first gain the ability to cast this spell, you also learn the sigil sequences for 2 destinations on the prime material plane, determined by the DM.
Oh, sweet. Determine them, DM.
And that's what I think I probably, so just to know, I'm not going to say what they are at this moment in time, so we may have to retcon something,
Okay.
but I need to have a think about, because of Alton's background, where the fuck this would be. It may not be helpful either.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fuck it, I'll just-
only go Tenor, you're going to ask. a
No,
question.
I better
Sorry
look
for
in the
taking you out of the moment there a minute, but I thought it was important to actually say that.
I just have. Fuck it, I'll just ask. Does this teleportation scroll need?
Sorry, you roboted there a little bit for me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'll look it up in the book.
No,
So,
ask,
what's the
ask, it's
question?
fine.
But the
It's not stupid.
hold on.
It's a stupid question.
Hold on. The reading of that
Yep.
spell suggests to me that the likelihood of there being a teleportation circle within the confines of the temple, different gilded houses, would that mean that they're... Yeah.
There's probably many of them in Neverwinter. It's just the only one Mara knows of is.
And there's none in Joaquin. Wouldn't have any.
Well, if it
actually,
did,
I think there almost certainly would have been one in the Temple of Joaquin, but it is no more.
Yeah. So it is officially no more. It is rubble.
Something happened. Yeah, I think.
I know, but you
It
never
is
know.
no
It could
more.
be in a basement foundation that survived. I don't.
Or
really
a
know.
side building, not in the main temple.
I don't. Building 6
on the roof.
As I say, it was one of these things to be determined.
Yeah,
I will take that. It's quite a good way of slightly fudging it, and I will take that under advisement, and I may go with that, but I'm not going to determine it in the here and now.
Cool. Cool. Well, cool. So he has 2 teleportation scrolls, and you will decide.
But do
to
obviously
save
mark them. They're special. That they will create a teleportation circle in an hour that would normally.
Imagine like a really fast stamping machine, just super fast stamping.
What it basically is that they have cast the teleportation circle onto the scroll 365 times over a year, and they have warped time that so when it's cast, it sort of back casts for the past year, so it's created straight away.
It's like when somebody like goes into the game code and just kind of makes something happen like 3,000 times for the effect that they want.
Okay, cool. We've probably talked too much about
So
teleportation.
apologies I took you all out at the moment a little bit, but I just thought that was important that I had noticed that, and there will be something. I may in the end just write a load of places down and just give you 2 random fucking places.
That's cool. Because he'll know about those places and where they are, so still might be handy.
So, are we done here?
We had another question, and Mara's gonna look to Garvin as he's drinking away. Could we purchase one of those kegs that fill themselves back up?
I tell you what, I shall just give you that for nothing. That is fine. You can take it with them.
Thank you. And Mara's gonna look at Garvin.
Say thank you.
he's decking it. You can see the smile coming either side of the tankard. There's sort of like ale dripping down his beard, which is actually starting to get a bit wet, sopping wet. Just like, no. And I think this is sort of slightly explained to you, or explained to you all in yourselves, in that Garvin did not like the sea, and he is incredibly happy to be back on dry land.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. He's comfort drinking.
Yeah, he is not happy at all when we were out in the boat and under the water. It was not a safe place for him at all.
I think
And he just sort of nods, like he can't really bring himself to say anything, but he sort of nods in agreement to what it was.
I guess that is the best we'll get for now.
thank you, Alan Ta, for all of your help in this matter. And please, the second you know any more, contact us immediately.
Beating up the microphone.
I don't know.
Okay.
Moving it.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you figure that you have any other mission that you might want some help with on this plane, then please contact us.
Yes.
We will.
Right, I guess we will.
I think with that, Alton will look at with Mara. I believe our transaction for now is done. Until we
Yes.
hear anything more on Cyric. Silly, yeah. Stop looking like him, Cyric.
Cyric started to glare at you before. He hasn't stopped.
Yeah, I know. I think Alton, I imagine Cyric is behind him. And just like there's just those glowing eyes that were out for the Kraken come out for Alton. Alton just sort of shudders down and is like, I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay, but we don't look like.
Well, no.
I'm guessing, would we be able to come to you if we ever have significant resources to purchase powerful magical items. Do you sell, or is it only trade? Because I assume that at least Alton...
She looks at you somewhat, and would you be trying to deceive her at all when she asks you what you would be looking, what type of magical items, and what you would be looking?
Not at all. Mara's wondering if basically we could come here later and buy something, or
use
trade
her
for
as a
something.
trading post.
Oh no, I absolutely. I think she's more asking you what type and for what end.
Well, whatever we can come up with later. She's kind of just leaving a door open for any type of trade. And all the ends for that trade will be for our adventuring.
Okay. And her eyes narrow and she looks at you quite pointedly, not like angry or anything, just sort of really intensely taking your measure. You've probably got the same look yourself when you're doing a business trade or something like that, but you're really, really properly taking note of somebody in the cut of their jib and trying to judge what type of person they are.
Especially since has these powerful magical items.
Yeah. And that's exactly what she says. She says, "It is no lie that we have many magical items and many powerful ones. We do tend to share the opinion that more dangerous ones should not be allowed to roam the realms."
And Alton knocks on the box. Like this?
A mere trifle. But the means to an end for something.
Please. What is it? I didn't look. I promise, I didn't look.
She told us.
She didn't tell us.
Avatar told us what it was.
She told us it was very dangerous, I thought.
No, she said it was a focus that was gonna keep all the universes more stable in this one location so that more avatars can arrive.
I should probably listen. Never mind.
I completely missed that. The only thing I remember is explosion, murder, death.
Yeah.
She explained exactly what the item was and what it did.
She didn't explain what the item was, but that she needed it as a component to do that, hopefully.
Okay.
Well,
So
okay. Then my outburst stands. What is it? What is inside the box?
The Star Child.
It is just something that is necessary. You know how us wizards have components we need.
Alton.
Exactly. Bat guano is needed to cast Fireball.
I cast that all the time. I haven't done it in a while.
I used to cast that all the time. Now I'm scared to.
Yeah. Now I destroy relics and powerful holy areas. And
Alton shoves the box towards her. Okay. Time for us to go.
But that also then I need to fucking consider what I'm saying. Then would we then be able to purchase or trade for magical items?
Maybe if they were too dangerous for other people who didn't have a lot of magic, but maybe it would be good in the hands of people who understand magic. He points at himself, and people who are good and kind, and points at Mara, and then he just sort of gestures to Scale and doesn't really have an answer.
Both of you make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like literally the next thing. If she said no, Mara would have been, then we can at least trade dangerous things for positive. Persuasion, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And then we look at the typically lawful evil, always yuan-ti, who's in the background, and we kind of ignore that for a little while. And then we look at the pirate.
Yeah,
we
exactly. He sort of gestures and doesn't continue. 28.
21.
She looks at you both and goes, typically, I would say no out of hand, because that is not our purpose. However, I think we can safely say, on a case-by-case basis, why not?
Thank you. So then we will be able...
No promises, no guarantees, but not a no. And anybody else that asked that question up till now had a flat no.
Thank you.
All the other question.
I understand you deal in powerful artifacts, and many of them are irreplaceable. So
Alton
the
not
weight of
knowing
the trade
the-
is too great.
Alton not
It's
knowing
not
the
right.
art. Alton not knowing the art of the deal. Will sort of just say, will sort of just out of hand, just sort of look to Mara and just go, "What do you want anyway?"
I don't want anything right now. It's just for the future, Alton, especially with your want of magical items.
Okay.
So no, but we understand. So then, if something arises, we might be able to purchase it, and if we find something of nefarious nature, we can come and give it to your safekeeping.
We
And maybe
attract
That
things
will
in the fairy.
definitely be appreciated. That is really one of our many aims, is to keep dangerous, exceedingly dangerous artifacts away, and we lock them away.
Well, then you've come to the right crew. Ah.
We well
I
then
will tell.
we shall. Then I guess we're done here. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Alton
you.
takes one last spoon.
I
Marvel.
open the
I think
door.
as you're going to the door, I think, Alton, you see like pop pop. There's another couple of jars of pineapple jam sort of appear in the yeah. They're just floating there, and you take them. Then you take their weight, and they're little
Marvel.
gift.
Mara will help Garvin up, and she will gesture towards
He's quite
the. Yeah, she will gesture to the window. It's a very nice view.
It's a snowstorm.
I
Cool.
find them
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
Blizzard
Yeah,
outside,
Alton has definitely never seen a snowstorm either, so he is pretty taken with that. But I guess we probably would have seen some snow as when we were traveling north before stream. But
You would have probably seen it on the horizon and the tops of the
Yeah.
mountains, but I don't think, because it was high summer, most of that happened. I don't think you actually witnessed.
oops, cool.
I mean,
Witness
Alton has
no.
seen sand, right?
Well, you walking along sand to get to this tower along
Yeah.
the foreshore. I mean, it's
Yeah.
dirty sort of sand amongst
Yeah.
rocks and things, but
Because I mean, if you don't know what snow is, it could just as well be sand up on a mountain, just reflecting brightly.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I suppose that's actually quite true. Alton
Hmm.
could have just misrepresented the snow at a distance as sand on the top of a mountain.
Don't think he's ever seen Caribbean white sand. Just
No.
just a
No,
guess.
it is like as in this picture. It's sort of that sort of slightly grayer sand.
Shaly.
And there's a bit, there's more seashells in it, small pebbles, and there's lots of sort of half rotting seaweed at the tide line and things like that. I think there is a small amount of that sort of really blonde sand between the high tide and the rocks, but there's only wee patches of it. It's not a big, lovely, luxurious beach.
Okay.
Right. I guess we shall.
So
go.
as you exit, dusk has turned to night full, and I think you're all starting to get quite tired after a day at the sea and then the jaunt along the foreshore. Are you planning on sleeping on the boat, going and finding an inn again?
Mara wants an inn and a meal.
Okay.
I'm going to my boat.
And Mara wants to put food into Garvin.
Garvin wants to put something. No, I won't.
I've got a sausage for you.
Stop. Okay.
Sorry.
Apologies,
everybody.
Yeah.
Long running stupid joke.
Yeah.
I should let it die, but I can't. It's my fault.
It really is. You're the only one who keeps bringing it up.
I don't know. I think more people do it.
Did everyone get a chance to have a look when I put the map briefly to Castle Never on
Mhm.
Roll20? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I guess I'll be right back. Apparently.
No, don't worry. That's not a problem.
What is this picture?
Oh, shit.
Sorry,
Beautiful.
I cannot explain that man to anybody. All right.
It's a sharkacorn.
Yep.
All it needs is a single horn.
My God. All right. Okay, so I guess, yeah. If they're going to the boat, I imagine. Yeah, I think Alton probably goes to the boat too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about Styric? What do you think his preferred rest for the night is?
I think Cyric would stay up for a while this night, just to, I don't know, roam around the city a bit.
Okay.
So he will stay out quite late.
Anything that he is particularly looking for? Anything that...
Well, I'm not sure really. It's more.
All I'm meaning is more is is there anything in particular that would catch his eye, or is he just mindlessly roaming around?
No, he is more mindlessly just roaming.
Okay, that's fine.
I think actually, before Alton say goes down to bed or whatever, he'll probably walk. I don't know if no one's going into the main city itself, he will go by himself. But he will be going to the site of the temple to see how that's getting on.
Okay.
So do I as
We'll come back to that in a second.
Yes.
But absolutely, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm just, even if you don't go there necessarily, that's where he will have gone.
Yeah. No, I definitely will do. Mara, do you just go back to the Tollbooth Tavern with Gavin, or do you find somewhere else?
I guess that's the first stop. She buys a room and sort of puts Garvin in a bed,
Okay.
locks the door,
Oh.
and then she's going to go.
She locks
She's
him
going
in?
to, yeah, she
Really?
straps him in, and then no, she then she goes to look at the temple ground, and if she can find any priests to figure out how everything has gone.
Right. Well, firstly, you'd probably be passing the temple on the way to the Tollbooth Tavern, so I think for you it might be something that you actually do on the way there when you're still
Sure.
with Garvin. But as I said, it is night, so you get there and it's just dark. You know, there's nobody around at all.
Yeah.
There's all got temporary accommodation. But you think as well as you're not going to get any of them until the next morning to actually be able to speak. It's not the sort of temple that's 24/7.
No.
At all. So you,
Bank's shut
that's
at
what's
6 o'clock.
That's what's in Mara's mind. But you quite quickly sort of think, actually, there's no point. We'll do this in the morning type of thing because I'm not going to get any answers at this moment in time. So,
Excuse me.
Scale. Back to the boat. Do you do anything else, or do you just have a drink and then have a sleep?
Yeah, do some shore maintenance stuff, like scrubbing down the decks, getting all the excess salt water off.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of stuff.
Not a problem. Okay.
Check out this sweet put the skull in my room and make it so it's like the feng shui is nice and get some positive energies.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get it quite spick and span. I think you and Waif and Stray have been doing that on the way back as well. It's a well-maintained boat. You know, you're good at what you do. Can Cyric and Alton both roll a d8? This is nothing. It's just more which one I'm going to go first, because whatever happens may potentially impact the other.
A 4.
Okay, Alton first. So, Alton, you quickly find your way to the site of the temple. And you see that work has started on clearing the rubble and the detritus, but it still looks like a gigantic bomb has gone off. There is still charred timber and charred stonework, and there is still, even days, if not a week or so or more later, the smell of burning in the air, because it's just such a huge site. But you can see that whilst this burning pile of rubble was huge. An awful lot of endeavour has happened to clear it away. They obviously seem to be clearing back the foundations so that building can start again. But yes, the beautiful, majestic building that you first encountered is basically gone. And there's quite... Obviously, you can interpret it this way for Alton, but for if it was myself and a building like that, it's quite a sad space that's missing something that should be there. If a city's got a soul, this is part of it that's just not there anymore, and it's
Guilty.
I mean, I'm saying that not that
He
that's how
hasn't, but
Alton feels,
just
because
for
he might not quite understand that.
well, just for no, he would understand. Just for supposed to get an insight into the way he is thinking about it. He hasn't been back to this place since the night, and even then, he doesn't remember being there. Well, like essentially, he doesn't remember how any of it ended. So I guess in a way, he's sort of going back maybe to jog a memory. But he sees this and he feels all those things. I presume he will see where they're clearing it to, essentially where they're bringing the debris. Like there's obviously a dump site.
There's empty carts, and it seems like the stuff they seem to be grading it. So anything that looks like it's still intact and can be cleaned and reused. So there's quite regimented piles of stone that's been put aside for use, and broken ones are just not there. But there are two large carts that seem to have a big yoke for a couple of oxen each. So the stuff that is deemed not fit to be reused is obviously being taken elsewhere, whether in the city or external to the city. But there's no pile of that here.
I think I might be misremembering this. Did you say that this was mainly a limestone building?
I think if I remember, it was red sandstone. I think
Sandstone,
it was.
sandstone.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So
a lot of the bricks are cracked just due to the heat, because it's not the strongest rock in the world.
Alton will look at this at sort of the site of, obviously this was a very imposing site, and now it's reduced to rubble, like literally. So that's striking in and of itself. But I think Alton will shed a tear, sort of roll the tear away, and then he will. I need your help, Sandy. And he will animate a huge sandstone object.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. It's sort of clicking together.
Yeah, he will use essentially for this what would normally be taken away, sort of debris stuff. Maybe
the shite stuff. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a problem at all to do.
And over the next, let's see. I actually have to have a look at this spell just to see what I can and cannot do. So it lasts for essentially a round, so a minute. Okay, so each time. So he will, if needs be, he will cast this twice. And yeah, so he will be doing that, and what he will do is he will essentially, what he can do, he is not a builder, he's not an architect, but he can see clearly what they're trying to do. And he will.
So you could fill the empty carts so they're filled already to start the next morning.
Yeah, he'll do that, and he will also make little piles of what he can see as usable and not usable to the best of his ability.
Absolutely.
So in the middle of this nightscape, we'll say, there is just sort of a glowing magical energy which will be reflected from the buildings surrounding, which might get him in trouble or not. I don't really know how you want to do that, but in the middle of the night he will have a giant, like a huge, I should say, animated construct named Sandy, who will basically be excavating and helping. Yeah. I'm probably getting like a couple of days worth done.
Yeah, because the thing is, you think of the movement of that, you think of the man hours that it would take for someone to move that level of stuff. Yeah, there's a huge amount of stuff done. And let's say there's 6 carts, like big, large lumbering carts that you managed to fill all of them. and get a good pile of sort of stuff to be graded the next day that you think is a reasonable chance.
I think
Another mental picture from Terry.
Oh my god, Terry, you're so weird. I think what they will essentially, after that he will head back. I don't know what happens after that, but what will be left behind is while the animated object is doing what it's doing, Alton will sort of take some pebbles and he will spell out sorry. And his plan would be to then head back to the boat. So.
That's fine. How long is Cyric's journey through the city before he either goes to the inn or back to the boat?
He would go back to the inn when everything is done, but I think he would stay out for at least a couple of hours.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
That's an 18.
Okay. Well, let's have a little break and we'll see what
Oh,
happens
you
to
mother-
Ciric
for fuck's
during the
sake.
night when we come back.
That is
So
messed
cruel.
up.
That's good. I
Yeah.
like it.
The laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you so much for
Yep.
joining us today. This has been a lot of fun. We'll see you.
We'll be back.
We'll see you after the break.
So stay tuned. These messages.
There's no messages. See you
Yeah.
soon.